Hey Libras, welcome back to DQ Tarot. Welcome back to your March 2020 reading. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So, I have a couple of cards out, and I'm shuffling up the classic Rider-Waite here. And it's going to be a little bit of a shorter read than I normally do. We're going to see how it goes. And why? Well, announcement. I have surgery in early March, and I will not be doing any private readings or any dailies, or probably really won't be very present here on YouTube for that first half of March, because I will be recovering from surgery. I'll be pretty out of it. So, thank you again for all of your support, guys. If you do want to book a reading, please email me and we can try to schedule it for after I am ready and able to read again. And if you feel like paying it forward, feeling some good karma, feeling like you want to give back for all the work I put in, and you're just feeling nice, you know, my PayPal is there, and please do feel free to donate if you feel inclined. Okay? Thank you again for all of your support, my Libras. My other Venusian goddesses, gods, whatever you are. I love you all. Let's get into your reading. Let's have a deep talk here. Your readings have been I feel like deep talks for a while, and maybe they brought up things you didn't want to hear, but if you came to YouTube to hear something specific in a tarot reading, then you don't really know much about tarot, huh? So let's have a conversation. And I'm not saying these are bad cards, but there are 3 major arcana that are your focus and your feeling for this month. So let's see. These first 2 cards are pretty interesting. The World and the Wheel reversed. Chapters need to come to a close, and I think you guys are at this point. You're negotiating bigger prospects moving forward now. There's renegotiations happening, and I don't know if it's the retrograde or what it is, but I think a lot of you guys are now able to see where you have allowed the wheel to turn reverse, maybe in situations even that you thought were so great, so wonderful, so perfect. This is a feeling of loss. This is a feeling of being taken from or having taken too much out of a situation, and feeling like we're on a latter half or the lower half of a wheel when it should be turning in a more positive direction, bringing a lot more in. But when it's reversed here, I mean, what is your involvement in terms of getting where you're at right now? What is your involvement? What is your responsibility in allowing things to have come to this point? And I'm not trying to call you out, because you guys are ready to change, and I feel that we've had some call out reads recently with you guys, especially in the past year or so. I feel like there's been a lot of reads that have been very pointed to where you allow your relationships to become extremely toxic. And I don't just mean love relationships, but for Libras, you've kind of known to get yourselves into a lot of love situations, and even though you're all about the truth and the balance and, you know, seeing things right, so when it comes to you and when it comes to love, it gets a little skewed, it gets a little bit murky, and you need to start looking at why things are the way they are. It's time to bring some chapters to a close and to really look at why certain things had to be the way that they were, why they had to happen that way, and what you needed to learn from it. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I do think that you are going to feel a little bit sensitive, because this is going to have you realizing your role in this. You might even feel bad about yourself here in terms of, I can't believe I let it get this way now. But you have to remember, now you're seeing things the way you needed to see them, maybe even for the past couple of years. And you might be saying, why didn't I see this before? Why didn't I see that this person was the devil, that I was stuck, that I was trapped? Why didn't I see it that way? And why didn't I do anything about it? Why did I accept that? Why did I keep giving to a situation that keeps taking and doesn't give you back anything? So, yeah, we're seeing things in a new light. We're seeing where we're really tied up, and I don't really know how or why we came to that. I mean, check the astrology if you want to know more on why we're suddenly seeing things that maybe we're feeling sad that we didn't see before. But I think it's because we're in retrograde, we're being asked to kind of pause and take things slower. It might even be while you're resting. Because Libra, nobody talks about how busy you guys can be and how much effort and work you're constantly doing. But you and Leo have this thing where you have a lot of friends, you're doing a lot of things, you're tied to a lot of circumstances and trying to please a lot of people, whether it's work, and for you guys, it's often work and it's often relationships and friends. And you can't be that to everybody, because eventually, you know, being the world, being the center of attention and wanting all these things for yourself make people, yeah, it attracts people to you, but they also take from you, and they see this is a spark that I can control and that I can take from. So you're going to start noticing where the energy has been sapped from you, where you need to make some changes, where you need to recognize the devil in your life, where you really need to recognize what has blocked you. And I do think that this has a lot to do. Let's see if we can get a card to describe it before I even say anything. Okay, what is this? Come on, one at a time. One at a time. And this deck, as you know, is difficult to pull from, but this is an opportunity. Take this retrograde and things that are happening right now and see them as a major opportunity to change, to grow, and to become a better you, to heal, because where you have been, it's been here. Pouring your energy. It's like, for me, when I see that, it just feels like all that water is just going the opposite way. Where is her balance? Where is her emotional balance? What is filling her cup? Are you constantly filling up others' cups to the point where you don't make any time for you? You're putting out fires here, there, everywhere in everyone's lives. And you need to start looking at why you do that and how it really benefits you. There has to be an equal give and a take in a relationship, and this needs to change. Change is here. It's time for you to make a major shift here in terms of how we dictate our relationships, and have it not be so based on non-reality, on wanting to please others, on wanting to make somebody happy. I think you're going to realize this month that it doesn't matter if that person is happy, if you're drained constantly and you're not happy, or that situation. You can't be doing all this work for no money or for less pay. You can't be giving somebody, and again, I feel like this has a lot to do with relationship. But I don't just mean love relationship. This happens in all your relationships. Take this perspective and apply it everywhere. You need to start paying attention to the messages that we've been talking about, I want to say, for the past year or so. Maybe it's been even a full year. It might have been less than that, but I know your messages have been really geared towards noticing toxic relationships in your life and why you keep them and why you keep giving to them when you have so much more that wants to come into you, but you don't have enough room for it right now. Or you haven't had enough room up until this realization that you don't want to do this anymore. Maybe you didn't see the crossroad. Maybe you didn't see that there was actually a choice and that you could change. Libras, you're kind of a sign, and I know this from my own personal experience with you guys, because I have a lot of Libras in my life. I have a sister that's a Libra, and this kind of reminds me of back in a situation a long time ago when she was dating somebody that he was terrible. And like, you could tell everybody would say, this person isn't good for you, this person is bad, this person's treating you poorly, why are you taking it? And you can tell a Libra this, that, the other thing, but the more you tell them to leave a situation, you guys will hold on and try to rationalize it, because you don't want your intellect and your ability to see the truth and the balance of a situation to be compromised in others' eyes, because you do care about how people think about you. Stop caring. You've got to stop caring about what they're going to think and about how they're going to feel and about how everybody else is going to be affected by any decision that you make. It's your decision. It's your life. And you have, it almost feels like you have been, I don't know if you've, and I don't want to say that somebody's abused you, but you feel abused. You feel, and I want to say it's more of a self-abuse because you've been sitting here and taking it this long. How many times are you going to have to fight for this? How many times are you going to have to go into battle? It looks like you're really worn down here. And you need to be aware of what your value is. When any nines come up in a reading, it kind of strikes me as you and your values. Do you value yourself? And are you doing things that prove that you value yourself to yourself? Or are you now seeing everything that you've been doing, the decisions that we have made, where we let certain people take from us enough that we're let me work through that sentence again. Retrograde is killing me, and then that card came out, and now I have to reorganize everything because so many other things are coming out for you guys right now. You've got to take the time for you. This is a time for restructuring. This is a time for renegotiating all of your relationships, all of the balance in them. And it could, I'm not just saying it's just like a now thing. This is for like the extended future. You guys are like, hold up a second. This is where things are at. When did things get this way? It's like you're very surprised that your life actually looks the way it does. But I do think that people have been warning you about this for a while. But it's only when you see it and when something strikes you in a specific way that you make that decision. And if it has to do with a Virgo, you will know. You will see it. You will make a decision because you will not be very happy with how they have treated you. You will feel... Let's get a card here to see what happens there. But this is something that I think kicks this all off. This is why you want to suddenly become better. Why you suddenly are like, wait a second, the world is my oyster. And this person, this situation that I've been in has been making me believe I'm in a box. Well, if you're in a box, if you're locked in a cage, if you feel that somebody or something has stopped you or halted you, hindered you, held you back from your true potential, which is so obvious all of a sudden, your true potential and what you really want, it's obvious, right? Then obviously you would have to get rid of them, right? Don't you want things to be a certain way? Don't you want to be better? Yeah, I do. Of course you do. But seeing things the way we're seeing them has us feeling pretty bad about ourselves. And just know, Libra, sometimes it takes a long time for a message to sink in, and sometimes we don't understand why we were in that relationship, why we stuck with that job, why we stayed in that place for as long as we did, and you don't see it until like that moment when you're like, I have to go. Oh my God, this is over. Oh my God, this person is bad for me. Oh my God, I'm now seeing that this is toxic. Do I want to be stuck in this forever? Oh my God, no. And again, it has an effect on your ego. I won't say that it won't, because it will. It has you blaming yourself a little bit. Why didn't anybody tell me? Well, people did, Libra. They definitely did. I can see that in your reading here. Like, they told you. You've been told that this was going on for a while. And it's only when you see it with your own eyes, when you know it in your own heart, that you're like, shit, I gotta change. Oh my God, I gotta get better. What am I doing? Who have I been? I don't want my next 10 years to look like this. I want it to be something stable. If I'm gonna put something into something, money, love, energy, anything, I damn well I damn well better be getting it back, right? You might seek comfort in lust. You might seek comfort in things that aren't good for you because you feel so bad about this. However, I would say listen to your heart. Listen to your feelings. Pisces season, yeah, might have you looping back through these things, these problems that crop up again and again and again throughout the retrogrades, throughout the past few years, whenever it is. You're going to recognize some of these things again, but you're going to see them in a new light, and you're going to feel them in a new light, and you're going to know what you deserve. And if I'm putting this in, well, I have to get something in return. You need new beginnings in terms of career and in terms of love. And I do want to say that this feels very career and love focused. And maybe you've let both of these things kind of direct each other, or other people again to direct where you're going in your life, to take and take and take, to the point where what's the point of, I've got nothing left to give you. And I think maybe it's when you get to that point that you realize, holy shit, something has been taking this much from me actually, and how have I not noticed what this has done to who I am as a person? What you need to know and what you need to remember is balance. There has to be an equal give and take here, and you have to get that. There's your dude there. There's your balance. Why can I never call it the scales? The balance machine. No, the scales here. They're right here. Balance is here, and you can achieve it. But you have to be willing to renegotiate these things and say goodbye to those who don't want to negotiate with you, who don't want an equal playing field. You have to be very honest with yourself and who and what is good for you and what is not, if you want to better your life. And I know that you guys do. You're ready for it. You're so ready. It's like unbelievable. You're like, I'm ready. Bring it on. I would like new chapters, and I would like things to feel better. So why are you so focused on... When I get the Wheel of Fortune reversed and the Hangman, I mean, that just feels so defeated by misfortune and stuck. You're stagnant. This is stagnancy. The wheel is suddenly stuck. But I know that I should be having this. This is my focus, but like, why am I feeling like this is where we're at? You can't get over the fact that things have not gone in your favor again and again and again, no matter how much you put into it. So are you going to continue to sit in a devil situation or not? It did come up upright. So a lot of you might decide to stay in something like this. And I hope that you hear this and that you have a little bit of a wake-up call, and that you step away from somebody that is toxic. And you really look at, is this how you want your life to look, or do you want it to be better? Do you want to be better? Do you want more out of everything? Because it's there for you. But you have got to be willing to change, and you can't fear it. And you really can't fear what everybody else is going to say, think, and do when you make the right changes for you. Okay? All right. Big stuff this month. You guys are like structuring, again, it's like negotiations for the decade ahead, changing your life for the decade ahead. Wait a second, who am I? And when did I become this person? When did I become this type of Libra? I'm more than that. I didn't even see I had a choice in this. You do. Start fighting for yourself and stop giving a shit about what anybody else thinks about you and your decisions, about, you know, if your partner has become less of a partner and more of a taker and a burden, it's time to really negotiate that relationship or say goodbye to it altogether, and not really care so much what they think, what their family thinks, what their friends think. Because I know when people leave relationships, these are all things you consider. Especially being Venusian, you don't want love to look like this. You don't want it to be this way. Don't you deserve more? Feel better about yourself, because you do deserve more, but you also have to restructure who you are and prove that this is what you deserve by asking for it, by commanding it, and by changing now that you see what needs to be changed and who needs to be let go of. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Communication is important. It's always important, but you have to reveal what you really want. And if you've been holding back, and if a relationship, a person makes you feel that you cannot express yourselves, first of all, message me, because that is what you call a very unhealthy, toxic relationship that could end up being abusive. If you feel that way, reach out to somebody. If in your life, if a relationship, if your partner tells you you can't be this way, or limits you in how you express yourself, or you feel you can't express and be yourself fully all the time or at any time, it's time to reach out to people. But it's time to communicate to your friends, to somebody, about what's really going on and how you're really feeling. And if you do feel that somebody controls who you are, the decisions that you make, what you're allowed to say, do, think, be, and all that stuff, then you really need to really think about who you actually are underneath all of that, and if you're okay being their puppet or not. And I don't think you're okay with that anymore. Okay. There it is. Release your ex. It's time to clear your energy. Somebody has to be let go of here. And I'm not going to tell you who that is if you want to get a private reading, maybe. But again, I'm not even going to be available till halfway through March. You've got to figure out this road on your own. Again, you have to remember that about tarot. It doesn't give you all of the answers. You have to find out this. This is a personal journey. And no, it's not going to be filled with, yeah, this person's in love with you and everything's going to be great. You're going to ride off into the sunset together. If you came on looking for a reading like that, there are plenty of people who will lie to you and who will read energies and pull out cards that they like. That'll make people happy. And they're going to hear the ex is coming back, this, that, the other thing. But I'm not like that. And that's not the way life is. And if that's what you think tarot is and you want to feed into that, fine. But right now you're getting your dose of reality this month. And you need it. Because you need to make some really big changes here, Libra. And I love you, but you've got to change. You're allowing something and somebody else to dictate who you become. And are you happy with that person now? Are you happy with who you are? You have 2 cards, so we're going to take them both. Even though your reading's a little bit longer, we're just going with it. Force. Force lives in your will and comes from your intent. Life is a process of pulling back your bow, aiming your arrow, choosing a target, and shooting. The degree and quality of the force with which you choose your target and shoot determine your power and your success. Force is built through your integrity of purpose, your physical tuning, and your balance of spirit and mind. By naming your act of power, you create force. Follow your innermost passions in life. Empower your will and your strength of force by manifesting your secret dreams. This is about you. What are your dreams? And I think you know exactly what they are. Why aren't you going for them? Why are you letting somebody, a situation, a person, a job, a relationship stop you? So silly. You're better than that. Truth. Are you living your truth? Your being is like a spirit lodge. Within this sacred place is your realization, the divine light of your creation. Live in your spirit lodge surrounded by peace and joy. Outside your lodge is the great wilderness where the rest of the world lives. That wilderness can become a battleground stained with the blood of ignorance and earthly pain. To have lasting power in the world, you must earn the trust of those around you. Most people live without a sacred place within, without a spirit lodge, and they do not know how to enter the spirit lodges of others. Live within your sacred truth. Your truth is really important, and it's been hidden by all this other crap and all these other people and what they want from you and what they want for you, and you got to start listening to you. Otherwise, you're going to get lost in this, and 10 years down the road, you don't want something like a movie to happen where all of a sudden, oh my God, why did I marry this person? Why am I in this situation? Why am I in this job? And then you leave and you have a midlife crisis. You don't want that, right? No one wants to have a crisis. So when these things come up and you know it's time to change, you know it's time to let things go, do what you know in your heart you're being asked to do rather than forcing the universe to take it from you at its own timing and its opportunity. You don't want that. Don't you want to have control over this and getting here? All right, Libras, I love you. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave me a comment on how it resonated. And I'll see you guys in the other monthlies. I will see you in the dailies when I get back to them. Hit me up over on Instagram, guys. DQ Tarot on Instagram. I will be updating, my condition and stuff there. And doing maybe some fun videos if I have energy and stuff too there. That'll be where I'll mostly be while I recover, though. So thank you again so much, guys, for all of your help. Make sure to subscribe and have a wonderful and blessed month. Namaste.